Hey everybody, Monkeypuzzle here, and I am at the little worker quarters we built with Dino Pen here in the center of the map, which you know if you've been following along with the series. And if you've been following along, you know that this is also just a little stage one thing from which to build the real base, which is going to be up there on that plateau, that little mushroom looking thing. That's, at least that's what it looks like when you look at it from a little further away. So I have talked about it enough for a number of episodes as we prepared and then as we did some other things to take a little break from building. But today is the day that I am going to start building up there. So I'm not sure how far I'm going to get, but I got a little crew, if I can get out the door, a little utility crew to go up there and to start getting ready. So we got a couple doties here, and we got some, I've been calling them spizzards, but the thorny dragons. It's a combination of spiny and lizard. And then I have also got a Wawa, a Morellatops, to help harvest the bushes and things up there. Anyway, I just wanted to start recording at the beginning here before I've actually done anything to it. And then I'm going to spend quite a while actually just figuring out how I'm going to build up there. Alright, so this is the spot right here. Can zoom out this way and get a little look at it. So I'm going to clear this out with the doties and harvest everything up here. And then, like I've said, I'm going to start sketching it out in thatch. I got to make a bunch of thatch parts first. You can see over there where Aaron BLP has started making the aviaries up on top of those two little rock plateau things. Anyway, I'm going to do that. And I don't know quite how long it'll be, but I'll bring you back, like I said, when there is something to show you. See you then. For some reason I can hear the water down there up here, but I just wanted to take a moment to show you real quick what it looked like all cleared off. You can see the shape of it much better, and it is relatively flat. So I've placed some foundations down here and there just to keep the rocks from respawning. Also keeps it a little bit safer up here, but that's not really a big deal. These chests are all full, completely full of sand, stone, sand, stone, and so on. I probably shouldn't have even kept the stone since I'm not building out of it. I don't know. I have a hard time throwing things away. And I also picked up the poop every time the Dodecarus pooped while I was harvesting. This is actually my second load of it. I'm filling up at the beetles with that. It was quite an exercise jumping off every time, but I just wanted to see what it looked like when I did that. So anyway, I'm going to get to sketching. Just wanted to show you the final canvas one last time. Oh, and I guess I should just briefly tell you what I'm planning on doing. So this little center area with this kind of feature is going to be the courtyard. We're going to use that as a natural feature in the middle. And then the building is going to go all the way around the perimeter and end right here with the behemoth gate. So I have to figure out how I have to make that work, but it's going to be that kind of Spanish villa style where everything faces the center courtyard, and make a cloistered walkway on the inside, and be able to bring the dinos in and have a roundabout to unload into the cloistered walkways and maybe park them in the middle, maybe put some crops in the middle. I don't know, but that's the idea. So let's see what happens. Well, I recorded a whole bunch of work and that footage got corrupted. So I'm going to have to bring you all up to speed real quick. Mainly what you missed was me pulling my hair out trying to get things to work. So I guess it's kind of a mercy for you that it went that way. So I'll just catch you up now that I've figured everything out. I can't look in front of me yet because I don't want to reveal till I go through a little bit of my process. But basically, see how I'm standing? I'm wading in this peanut butter stuff. Well, that was the main cause of my problem. I was trying to go around the edge to shape an octagon out of this plateau, but there's a lot of places where the terrain does this. And in this particular place, I was able to put the fence foundations underneath it. They're still down there, but then there was other places where it wouldn't work at all. And I tried so many different ways. It was kind of impressive to see like how many different ways I tried to put it together with pillars and raising them and lowering things and using foundations and blah blah blah. Anyway, you miss all that. That's all mainly deconstructed at this point. But I was trying to use the fence foundations because of the angle that you can do with them. Let me show you. You know what I'm talking about, right? If you place a fence foundation, you can do that. And that's a perfect 135-degree angle, a 45 plus a 90. And so if you do that, you can make an octagon out of these. So it's just a good shape, one of the less square shapes that you can make in ARK. However, I wasn't able to do that. They just wouldn't place all the way around because of what I described. So I had to figure out how else to do it. I tried doing it with foundations and trying to get them to do that angle where I'd place a fence foundation on them and then put one at an angle on them and then snap a pillar at an angle to that and then go out one and try to delete that one and then put a foundation that's at that angle, but they wouldn't place together. The foundations, that's not a foundation, make one. Oh, I don't have another one, but they wouldn't merge together at those angles, and the Adobe ones wouldn't either. This is a ceiling I'm holding, of course. So the best building part for going across terrain that's uneven and has problems is a pillar, right? But I didn't know how to get that angle with the pillar. But I'm going to snap this one to the foundation because it places them a little bit higher than if you place them in the ground. I figured out a way to make pillars have a precise angle. So the way I did it is once I've got my pillar down, I go ahead and I put a ceiling and another ceiling, and then I take the fence foundation and I put it up right in. Let's see if I can find this, get the spot. It never wants to place when I'm on camera. Alright, I moved the pillar to another place and now it works here. It worked fine over where behind it show you yet. Anyway, you place one on the inside edge of the second on that one, and then you can go ahead and with a second fence foundation, you go ahead and get the angle like that. There you go. Now off of that, you can go ahead and place a pillar right up there in the ceiling, making sure that it's actually snapping to that angled fence foundation like that. And then all you got to do is get it into the ground like that. And then we can go ahead and delete not the pillar, but everything else. That and the fence foundation and this one and the ceiling. And in this case, I didn't even need this upper wooden pillar, but have that 135 off that way. And then if you keep going around like that, oh, hello. Keep going around like that, you can get your octagon out of pillars. And that's what I did. So here is a little snapshot I took of the octagon I made just out of wood pillars. It took so much work to get to this point, but this is the base from which I built the rest of it. And I'll show you that in a second. But real quick, let me get my bird, and in doing so, I can show you this great aviary that Boring LP made. Aaron, he went ahead. I showed you it in progress, but now he did all this. So he's got this great castle-like aviary thing going on. You can go up here, and there's a whole second level. These four corners are made out of the new hatch frames, that the ceiling hatch frames we hadn't used before. And he's been using this space up here to do some Argentavis breeding, which is very cool indeed. So you can take your RGs out the hatches, or you can have them down here. Let me just borrow one of these real quick. My bird is down below. And then out here you can see the big reveal of what I managed to do. So here you go. There is the big octagon made out of pillars. So you can see this inner ring was built from the octagon I made out of the wood ones, and then I just replaced the wood ones before I put the ceilings on top. I replaced them with the adobe pillars, then I put the adobe ceilings on top. It's important you go in that order so that they don't poke through. If you tried to replace the wood pillars with adobe pillars later, then it wouldn't work right. It would end up poking up through the ceilings. So I like it. It's a little oblong this way, but I think it's going to be pretty cool. The behemoth gate's going to go here to enter in there, and this is all going to be the base of the building. I wanted it to be lower to the ground so that it kind of adjoined onto this courtyard feature here, but that was not to be. So I'm going to have to place ramps all the way around it. But the whole thing is pretty level, and then I've got all these pillars radiating off of it that I'm going to build out with. So that's pretty cool. Another trick I want to show you that we used in doing this. See, I was making a bunch of clay out of all the sand that we harvest. Aaron took all the stone and he changed that into cementing paste that we're going to use. He's been making rocket propelled grenades that we're going to try to knock out a rock elemental probably in the next episode or one coming soon. But he had this great idea. You know, we have all these adobe parts to make, and these guys act like smithies, right? But you can't, there's no recipe in here for the adobe parts per se, except maybe the behemoth gate. But what he figured out is if you put these here, the blueprints on it, that we find these all over the place, and they were kind of useless because we'd already learned the engrams. Well, if you put them in here, then you can go ahead and use this to craft the parts. I've got him full of the wood and the clay and the thatch and everything it takes. And now, there we go. I'm making 49 ceilings, but I'm not encumbered by it, and I can move around and do other things while they craft. So that was pretty nifty. So I've pretty much got you caught up now. So sorry you missed all that, but I guess it's kind of good you missed all that. I'm just telling you, this was like probably like, I don't know, 8 hours of figuring to get to this part, but now it's made. And then one other thing I want to show you, you can see I'm pretty hungry, right? You've probably been facepalming going like, eat, eat. Well, see down there in my 0 slot, I've got these, the Molten Burger for the Molten Iron Server. And Raleigh made recipes for this, and I need to learn how to do this. Apparently he's got a episode up today where he shows us how to make recipes. That's one thing I've never learned. But if I eat that, this is going to fill all my hunger. It's a little slurpy. It's like kind of a wet burger, but it's going to slowly fill more food than I have, actually. It's just going to take me up to 100 in my case. But these things are awesome. If I go ahead and put it up here, you can see right now I've got 11 hours on it. These last like 21 hours on your person, and it takes 20 pieces of raw meat in a cooking pot to make them. So it's a pretty good trade. 20 pieces of raw steak basically get you a molten burger. So I guess there's a totally legit way to do this in the vanilla mechanics, and I'm going to watch that later and learn how to do that. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, at this point I'm going to go ahead and see how far I can get in the rest of this episode. We're probably about 10 or something minutes in at this point, depending on how long I just babbled. So I'm going to place a bunch of those ceilings getting stuck on the terrain, and see where we can get with the rest of this episode in the building, because we just took a big shortcut with all that corrupted footage. So I'll see you when I get there. So just working my way around with the ceilings. It's going to be 5 wide, by the way. I still need to decide what I need to do with these corners. These ones look fine right here. That's nice and clean. On this outside edge, I need to decide whether I'm going to leave that little divot or if I'm going to make a little point like that. So, not sure. Probably do it that way. Not going to commit yet. But I was coming around and I found one place I forgot to fill. Basically, some of these low points I was not able to snap pillars. And this one needs to come one more over just for consistency. I could probably bridge it with the ceilings right now, but that's what I've been doing. And I just wanted to show you how I was doing that. Let me grab some of these thatched ceilings here. Just the same old way that I usually do like this, but you know, it's very important that the pillars don't poke through for me. So just go ahead and place a thatched ceiling and then place your pillar like that, your wooden pillar, because these are disposable. And then we're going to just find that lower point, right? There's that one. See if I can pull this off. And then you slowly go down until you get that second point. Any day now. Yep, it was there. Helps when you look in a way that there's very few other places it can snap. There it is, right there. That's the one you want. And now since I'm on the right track with that one, I can go ahead and start using the adobe pillars. So let's go ahead, take that down into the ground, and then we're going to replace that one. But like I said, you want to delete this stuff first. So you got to get rid of the ceiling. Not that one, dummy. No, not that one either. Ah. That one. And that. And that one. It's very important you look at what you're deleting before you delete. So now I can place that, and then I can go ahead and bridge right over. You can see there's 2 different snap points, but of course I want to take, if it stopped moving, the higher one, that one, and bridge the gap. Okay, just wanted to show you that. Alright, and here is the last one with 12 to spare. Not bad. I just guessed at the amount I needed. Let's take a look at it again from up above. So there is the foundation for this base, this main base with its adjoining aviaries. Oh, I forgot to say that he's going to mirror that one over on that side as well. And our little lower area down there as well. So this should be quite the complex and serve most of our needs. So now I need to craft up a bunch of walls and windows and things. Actually, probably the first thing I'll do is make a bunch of ramps and see if I can join this whole bottom part up. So let me see if I can pull that off. Alright, did that, and I think it's a really nice look. You can definitely get up on the building platform from anywhere down there in the little courtyard. It integrates into that little middle feature pretty well, so I like that a lot. I think as the sun goes down, this is a good time to check out for this episode and next episode. If we're not knocking out rock elementals, we're going to go ahead and build up from here, and then we'll be able to inhabit this place. And I've got a few other things in mind to really make this a very cool base. And then base is made, we'll be set on that, and then we could turn from building into doing all the rest of the cool stuff that is available to us here on Scorched Earth. But in the meantime, this is Monkeypuzzle. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate you watching until the very end. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.